In today's video, I want to propose that we have it termed incorrectly. It's not the midlife crisis. It actually is the midlife grieving process. Why do I say this and where did this come from? Well, really it came this weekend. I was contemplating, I was out for a walk and just laying around. I laid in the sun, I went for a walk and I was contemplating two things, courage and self-deception denial. And because it's been my life experience, at the heart of every life struggle is self-deception. We're always deceiving ourselves and everyone's, oh no, that's not true. The studies show it, like everything boils down to that. Like my worst day cycle, what separates it, what really gives it meat and helps you determine what's good, how to get your life back, it's the shame and denial portions. And I believe if you don't have this information on self-deception and how it works, you can't achieve what you want in life. And that's why truth and responsibility are so important to me in this recovery journey. And as I was contemplating this, I first sort of came up with kind of a quote, and then it spurred this picture. Maybe they all kind of happened together. And this, so I'm going to give you the quote, and then I'm going to give you the picture to explain it. And because I think this will be really valuable for you to get into truth and take responsibility for your life so you can achieve everything you want and have the life I believe we're all meant to have. But this is what I wrote down. When the fires of self-deception have left the soul naked and bare, all that is left are truth and responsibility. They are the omnipresent embers that ignite your courage. Now let's break that down. What am I really saying here? Well, what is self-deception? Self-deception is us lighting us on fire. If you've read my book, Your Journey to Success, I start a chapter off where I spent 3 days contemplating taking my life. And during that stretch, I wrote an email to my counselor and I put that email in there and I start off with telling him how I wake up every single day knowing exactly what I need to do to have a good day and what I need to stay away from. But every single day I wake up and I walk out of my bedroom into the kitchen and metaphorically I pour gasoline on myself and light myself on fire, and the rest of the day is spent smelling that flesh and feeling that pain. And that's the midlife crisis, right? In midlife, that's where we are. There's kid responsibilities, career responsibilities. We've been through 1, 2, 3 divorces. Like life is hell. It's pure hell. We are lit on fire. And why? Why is this a grieving process and crisis isn't accurate? Well, at the heart is self-deception. What are the 5 stages of grief? Remember what the first one is? Denial, right? Shock and denial. Number 2 is anger. Number 3 is bargaining. I'm going to save number 4 and 5. So, what are we all stuck in? Denial. That's the first thing that happens. Why? Where did we learn to get stuck in denial? Our childhoods. Every single one of us went through pain in childhood. And if you don't think you did, you are in so much denial and you are lit on fire. Like my quote, you are lit on fire with self-deception. That you don't think that anything in the middle part, in any part of your life, isn't directly related back to your childhood. And so then, what happens? That shock and that denial. And think of in the midlife time with the divorces and the kids and everything, we're filled with rage and anger. We have no control over life. Because what are we discovering? Because think of it, our brain doesn't even stop forming until we're 25. Adulthood, for most, starts after 25 with kids, careers, all the different things. Now we care about society. Now it impacts us. And we're angry about it. We're also starting to recognize, because we're out of the home enough, we've had kids, when we start to get into the truth starts to sneak in that, ooh, mom and dad, I can't run. Their voices, like think about Christmas dinners and holidays And the parents come around and it's, oh, the in-laws and all the parents, how am I going to survive this? See? We're pushing it down. We're filled with that rage and anger because we denied the pain as a child. We never dealt with it, but now it's bubbling up along with the divorces, along with the career problems, along with the kids, all this stuff. It's bubbling up. We can't suppress the shock and denial. We're filled with rage. And what do? We bargain. I'll drink more. I'll blame them. They're the ones who did it. It's the narcissist. It's that political party. And I'm going to numb out with pot and pills and go to the doctor every week and get animals and all these. I'm bargaining with all, because please, don't make me commit, don't make me see the truth. Don't make me responsible that, wait a minute, I picked these people. Wow, I never dealt with my childhood pain. I haven't even admitted it. Oh my God, there's so much to deal with here. No, because ultimately, what are we avoiding? Stage 4. What's stage 4? Sadness, depression. Because we call things a midlife crisis. We don't call it grief. Our brain is now releasing the truth. We hurt. We're in tremendous pain from our childhood and from our life experiences born out of that childhood. I just left my office. A woman signed up for my 6-day email campaign, free thing. And she's going, I want to find out why I keep making all these terrible choices. It's the worst day cycle. It's the grief process. She doesn't know. She's miserable because she doesn't know. And so, let's go back to the quote. When the fires of self-deception have left the soul naked and bare, and that's where we are, 35 to 50, we're naked and bare. We've spent our life, this is the picture I got in my head is California. They have wildfires every year and 1,000 acres and 100,000 acres. And think about that time of life. All the denial. No, it's not my childhood. Boom, there's 1,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 acres burned, and it's burning, and it's been burning our whole life. That forest is on fire, but I'm not going to deal with it because what? It's the smoke's problem. No, I'd be fine if the wind would change and I wouldn't have to breathe in the smoke. I'd be fine because it's not my childhood. It's not that 1,000,000 acres burning back there. No, that's not the problem. I'm not going to admit that. And as it creeps into me, more of my clothes get ripped off and more of my soul's getting exposed. Because what are the trees? They're all the denial mechanisms, all the things we hide behind, the pills and pot and everything. We're just hiding and hiding. I'll marry this person and I'll get divorced and within 2 years I'm remarried again. I did that. No, I'm not going to go through stage 4, grief and sadness. I'm not going to deal with the pain from the past or the present. No. If she would have been a better wife, it was all her. I was already over the relationship because I knew it was gone. So I'm ready for this next one. No, I'm not going to deal with this. Boom. We just lit on another 100,000 acres. Man, the state's on fire now. It's everywhere. This isn't a crisis. This is sheer grief and terror. We are scared to death. We're petrified. Think of it, petrified. Everything's on fire in our life, our career, our kids, all of it. We can't sustain it. Because why? What does stage 4 require? What does the act of dealing with our pain and sadness, what does it require? Truth and responsibility. When the fires of self-deception, when I burnt the whole state down, there isn't a tree to hide behind. There isn't a pill or a relationship or a boss or society and Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Republican, Democrat. If I can't, now they're all burnt. I burned them all down. I blamed all of them. I have bargained my life away so I don't deal with that original fire that started way back there. I burn it all. And now my soul is laid naked and bare. I have no more deception. I can't hide from it. I've got to face it. And all that are left are truth and responsibility. That's it. They are the omnipresent embers. Because think of it. What is the healthiest thing you can do for the soil? Burn it. Burn everything. It enriches it, like it just gets filled with all the nutrients we need. Because why? Denial's gone. I can't deceive myself. All the relationships and all the addictions and the blaming of society are gone. It's just me now. I gotta face me. Those are the embers that are left over. That soil is fertile. It's filled with it. And so one of two things happen. People's health issues rise and they die with the soil. Because no way, I'm not going to look at that pain. I'm not going to deal with the truth. I'm not going to take responsibility that I played a part, that I would have never been in this relationship had I not been through a childhood like that, had this society not taught me this is how it works, and I had never taken responsibility for the part that I played, that I didn't leave at the first sign of their mistreatment. That's on me. No. Shoot, there isn't a tree to hide behind. There isn't a fire to blame the smoke on. It's been burnt. That gives rise to courage. Now we have nothing left. If I'm going to make it out of this, I'm going to have to go through the sadness and depression. I'm going to have to grieve. And so you look in the world, at what age do most people find clarity, find the power of now? Look at all the people in my business, right? Almost all of them. They're most prophetic and all of their epiphanies. It's all in this area. What did they do? They ran out of self-deception and denial. They burn it all down. Sure is true in my case. I'll never forget. I talk about that in my book. I knew after decades of going to counseling and courses and working my tail off in recovery, there was always one fire. There was a set of trees I could always hide behind and let the smoke pass through. And I could still blame you and everything. And what it was is control. I wasn't willing to let go of control. Because do you know what control means? If I have control, and here's how it worked. Because I'm finding my mom passed out naked on the toilet as a kid, I developed a hypersensitivity to what anyone or anything was doing. And so I used that to try and keep myself safe. I thought it kept me safe. What it did, and it's the same for you, and this is where you're in denial. You think if you keep control, there's your self-deception. If you don't face that pain and don't deal with it, that's what'll protect you and save you. As all of California is burning around you, you ain't gonna let it go. Not until it all burns down. Well, that's what happened to me. I'm contemplating taking my life. It was all burnt down. And I realized, and I remember walking down that hallway to my bedroom, tears pouring out of my eyes, going, tomorrow, I wake up. I will not know what to do. For the first time in my life, I have to wake up tomorrow and choose not to control anything. What are the omnipresent embers? Courage. What was my courage? I got into truth. I'm responsible. I haven't let this go, and it's true for you too. What are you holding on to? You know it. You know there's a piece that you don't want to deal with, that you're blaming and finding all of these mechanisms to hold on to. You don't want to take responsibility. You don't want to be in truth. It's all of us. That's not a crisis. That's a grieving process. Because do you see, we have to admit that, oh my God, he's right. Oh, stop, Kenny. No, it's them. It's them. It's not me. They're the ones who hurt me. I'd be fine if they hadn't come along. Right? Looking for another tree to hide behind. Put a mask on. Put a mask on so you don't breathe the smoke. Yeah. The only way out of this The goal of life is to face truth and responsibility. I love how Jordan Peterson talks about this, because the other self-deception we use is, I just want to be at the end. This is too hard. Gag me, or everything would be better once I get the money, once I get the man or woman, once I get the career. Like, it's always this, it's these things. Once I arrive, well, he talks about the difference between the finite and the infinite. The infinite is God, right? Okay. God is omnipotent, everything. A godlike creature or being or entity or whatever, the concept of God is infinity. Everything is possible with God, right? That's the basic tenet of spirituality is you have and you are everything. Well, that's infinite because there's no limitations. Life is filled with limitations. For one, we die. We don't all achieve everything we want instantly. We have to work. Like there's all of these these things in our way, and what we all use, the first 3 stages: shock and denial, anger. We're angry that I can't get everything I want, and we bargain and we sell our soul, and we manipulate and we deny that we're responsible, and all of these things because it's too hard. And that's what we're doing. No, I want to be all that, but it's too much. I can't do it. Well, do you see what you're asking for? That when you're here, if you have everything the way you want it, do you realize when you place yourself in the desire for that godlike presence of having it all, being it all, there's nothing there? Because the essence of being a God is you are everything. You're the chair, you're the air. That means there's no striving. You're just there. You're a blob. There's nothing to it. You have no life. The beauty for us, which makes life so wonderful, is we get the experience of being in life, of struggle, of discovery, of all these things. And so what you're asking for is basically certain death. You want to avoid step 4 so that you can be so detached and numb and blank and not experience anything. That's what you're asking for. I just want to be at the end. I want to be so blank and numb that I don't experience anything. Well, you're already doing it. Look at your life. Look at it. Because you know I'm right. You know there's something that you could do in this moment, and you're choosing not to do it. And you know if you did it, your life could be better. It would get you to stage 5, acceptance, right? And that's where the light is, right? Because you're at the tunnel, and you can see you're in this darkness, and you can see there's light. You believe it. You know it's there. Or you're going to lie to yourself. No, my life's so bad. Well, that's because you want to stay. You are so caught up in the denial and self-deception and playing the victim that there's just no chance. Like, you are so embedded here that you have to stay in blame and anger and bargain and stay down here. That's not true. That's how you lie to yourself. You still have tons of forest to burn before you get to the embers. You don't want to see the embers that are underneath your feet as we sit here in this moment. You're going to burn down a lot more, and most likely you're going to burn from the inside out, because that's primarily what kills us, is our self-deception. Our health issues start showing up in that midlife and beyond, and it's hell. It is pure hell. Think of how most people live the latter parts of their life. That's all of that. No, I'm not going to deal with stage 4. I'm not going to deal with the sadness and depression. I'm not going to conquer this. You do that at your own peril. And so, I invite you, think about it. Meditate on this quote. When the fires of self-deception have left the soul naked and bare. Is your soul naked and bare? Or do you still have some fires you're hiding behind? Are you stoking fires, using self-deception so you don't have to deal with it, so you don't have to see your soul, so you don't have to expose your vulnerability, your authenticity, and your greatness, and how powerful you are, and how you could achieve everything. Like, you know in your soul you're capable of so much more, but you're hiding behind that self-deception and those fires. You don't want to expose the vulnerability of how capable you are. All that is left is truth and our truth and responsibility. Are you afraid to pick up the truth and pick up the responsibility? Because they are the omnipresent embers that ignite your courage. When we confront, and that's what stage 4 is, we're confronting our self-deception. We are grieving that, oh my God, I played a part in all of this. I am perfectly imperfect. And this is self-forgiveness. That's what we're being asked to do here, is to forgive ourselves and forgive those who hurt us. That's where our courage, because we're in truth and we take responsibility. That's what step 4 is, truth and responsibility. When we go into sadness and depression, when we allow ourselves emotional mastery and the ability to experience the beauty of life's pain, because life is struggle. Remember the infinite, there's nothing here. You keep saying you want nothing, you're dead. It's empty. There's nothing there. Okay, visions of grandeur, but you're part of the grandeur. You wouldn't even notice it because you're there. But here, the beauty of life is in its tragedy, and it's facing the tragedy, because what do you get? You get connection with your soul. That's the spiritual embodiment we're all after, is that sense, because you know it. When you conquer something really deep, what do you feel? This overwhelming sense that comes from in you. There is nothing I could say or anyone close to you that could say anything that would make you feel any better than how you feel about yourself. That is the spiritual journey of life right there. That's the essence of any type of God. It comes from within. It's the experience of, I have seen myself, I have reached my potential, I am in truth, and I am responsible for this outcome. I created it. I did this. That's the courage to pursue your greatness. Do you see? That's what truth and responsibility will give you. The courage to live in the embodiment of that spiritual essence, and you don't have to believe in God for that. That's just a human. You can call it whatever you want, but that's the essence of being human, is that experience, and we only get that in stage 4. That we cannot skip that step, because that's where self-forgiveness, that's where self-awareness, self-awakening happens. We only see ourselves when we are in truth, and we take responsibility for that truth. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's midlife crisis? Or do you think it's the midlife grief process? Let me know your thoughts. Have a great day.